and I can assure everybody that things are definitely ramping up. And I have reasons why, so I'll start with the personal and then I'll just go in the whole general thing. So today I had to go to Omaha, and for the first time ever, my Wi Fi cameras were they were picking stuff up but not recording anything. I could see that they were picking stuff up but they weren't recording. This has never happened before. And it wasn't the whole day. It was at certain times and I was gone those certain times. Um at the same time, my camera in the living room, which is a completely different system and doesn't run on Wi-Fi, um, stopped recording all afternoon for several hours, and now it's fine. Now it's back to normal. The There's a new dude that I have known in town for years, completely connected to this group, and also another. It's just almost overwhelming how many of them I have around me. But today, not on camera, but because I was standing in my living room for the first time ever, the dude had a dog. Never had a dog before. Never seen a dog since. And it's just been recently that it's kind of like a big commune in my neighborhood right around me, unfortunately. And so, and the shit that they are blasting is just, I can't even begin to describe to you how bad it is right now. It has been. And every time I think it can't get worse, but I agreed to go through this at the very beginning, like I said. But that's all connected in that area. Then, Geo Farnsworth, it occurred to me after having to deal with that idiot today that there are people who are associated with these idiots who are starting to panic because there's a group of them who are so stupid they just do all kinds of stupid shit. You know, Terry Joyce, Dowd, Farnsworth, and Daniel, and they're all connected into one big group. And so having to deal with Geo Farnsworth, how many brains does it take if you're going to show everyone how you can get into people's Venmo accounts, and you're going to do that online for everyone to see? Because you knew I was going to publish it. You knew I was going to capture it and publish it. Dowd, same thing. Tara Joyce, same thing. So I not only had to deal with that idiot Captain Underpants today, but then I have to turn around, and the timing for me was really bad. Really, really bad. Because I had just eaten. And I got this big, long letter from Thomas. And it made me almost want to throw up. Dude, Nazi is as Nazi does. Of course you don't see Nazis because you're part of this fucking group. Just like Neil. It's not hard to figure out that Neil could swing to white supremacy or whatever, the far, far right, you know? And you don't have a clue what this dude is involved with, you know? He is being investigated on so many levels because now people are talking. Because this has been this whole drug operation has been an open secret. But I would have never found out about it had that gas station not happened. Because the minute he hit it, I had a fit. And I've had a fit since then. And then when I found out on the report that it says there's only one explosion and there's really two, you know, but you don't have a clue what Neil is involved with. And I want to say this first and foremost. You send me another fucking dime, I'll send it right back to your ass. If I had the money to return what you gave me in the first place, it would be returned. You know? Your issue, Thomas, for all of you, it's really unnerving to come along with someone who can just draw your secrets right out of you. I know. I've had a problem with it all my life. It weirds people out. But it is a talent of mine. And your issue is not that anyone else figures out what I'm saying is true. Your issue is that I fucking know what I'm saying is the truth. Your issue, what you really face, is not what everyone else thinks, but what I fucking know. And I knew it almost from the very beginning. That stupid Arabic shit that you say that you're, oh, I'm blessing you, and saying all this weird shit in Arabic during our conversations, I may not have known what was being said because I don't speak Arabic, but I could feel the intent. I could feel the energy that you were putting in the words. That's how I knew that you were untrustworthy from the very beginning. Aquino wouldn't play with me. But you, on the other hand, and now you guys are all starting to realize that what I have said all along is true. Because the one big event that I watched today, that I am anticipating the ripple effects from, is the very one that every fucking one of you thought was completely untouchable. And heaven, with the dark, is showing you how wrong you are. Because today I saw the untouchable get touched. And this is my prediction. It isn't going to stop from here. It's only going to get worse. And the problem with this whole situation is that everyone is going to see God and heaven in action. Because it won't just be Donald Trump who gets claimed. Read your scriptures. 3 to 4 generations. What ends up happening when you get claimed is that you damn your kids and their kids and their kids if they're alive at the time. It's written in scripture. It's written in scripture. Not saying anything. So it won't stop, which is Donald Trump. And it's for all of you to see. All of you to see. Because I told you, I was told that he would be brought down by his dick. And I said that years ago with Doug Mesner. Because like I did with Neil Gross and his Boy Scout bullshit routine, I tried to buy in at the beginning to Donald Trump because I hated Hillary Clinton. I mean, I hated Hillary Clinton. Evil fucking bitch. Had she been president, my sister and I actually got into a fight because I was in Washington, and in Washington, you vote by mail. You get this vote in the mail. And I had that card on my desk for about a week and a half. It was when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton. And I ended up throwing the card away because I realized that I did not hate my fellow man enough to vote for either one. And so I just threw the card away. My sister, on the other hand, was a just rabid Clinton supporter. And they were having marches in Seattle when she lost because people were angry about it. And my sister wanted me to go to Seattle. And I told her I would never take a bullet in the ass for that bitch. And furthermore, had I voted, I would have voted Donald Trump. And the reason why I would have voted Donald Trump is because the dude was so ego-ridden and he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot and he's surrounded by really bad people. And people can say whatever they want, but his daddy was in the pavilion in Hummel Park all the time. He was like a Keno. He was always there. He was high up. And he was a fucking weird, mean, fucking cruel dude. He was, you know, they were all just horrid. Horrid. I wanted to believe that the apple had fallen far from the tree and Donald was what everyone was saying. But then it occurred to me that logic took over. In this system, if you're against them, they're not going to let you become fucking president. You'll never be a billionaire. You know, if they couldn't take your money away from you, they would kill you. That's, you know, that's, and you don't really, it's all incidental anyway, because really we all have our own opinions. We're all divisive. I'm just telling you mine. But I'm also warning you that it's not going to stop with Donald Trump. The very things that they are afraid of are going to come visit them. That's what the dark does, you know? And this is just a public display because heaven knows that, especially in America, we all need a fucking public display. And so you don't have to take my word for it. Just give it a little bit of time and you'll start seeing it. Because heaven is showing us that it wasn't fooling around. Yes, love exists, but don't kid yourselves. So does wrath, you know? And people have asked me, why me? And it was a good question. I had to think about it for a long time. I had to think about that question. And the reason why is because heaven needed a man to construct the dark. And the reason why heaven needed a man to construct the dark is because mankind can think of the most evil shit you have ever thought of. And then we can go even further. Heaven, angels can't think that way. They're from heaven. They can't even think that way. But man. And so at a time when I was young and had a lot of energy and a lot of rage and a lot of anger, I cast into that dark, not realizing what it would become in the end. Because for me, it was just a place. It was just a place. But I did not realize when, because like I said, I thought I was good. I know this shit's gonna bring me down eventually, or that's what I'm assuming, because it's fucking torture. You know, and I could be all caught up in the anger and rage. The thing that saves me is that I have a lot of empathy. And what ends up happening is that, yes, what I am going through is fucking horrid. But other people have gone through this as well. It was interesting because in one of these live videos, someone brought up the name Tory Smith. And honestly, I'd heard that name and I knew I'd heard that name and knew something about that person, but didn't remember a thing. So after that live, the next morning, I went and I wanted to see if it was who I thought it was. And it was. It was the dude they were murdering with their weapons that they had already come out and said they had. All because he was trying to expose Pence for being a weird asshole. You know? Wow. Now we look at it. And he did kind of what I did. He documented what was going on with him. And everyone just fucking dismissed it. I understand we're in different days. Way different days. Because that darkness, what I was casting into that darkness, because for a period of time because I was having to experience the emotions and go through what happened to me. And it caused a rage that I, for a long time, had a hard time doing. So heaven had blessed me with the darkness. I could cast anything I wanted into the darkness. I just couldn't do it on anybody. But I could do whatever I wanted in the darkness. And I spent decades. And it took me into therapy. I had to talk about it in therapy because it scared me. Because what I realized is that when I was casting into that darkness, there was no depth to there was no, I could have just kept going and going and going and going. And the more I went, the worse it was. The more angry. And Stephen King had nothing on me. Because I thought of the absolute worst shit casting into that dark. It helped me separate myself from my anger and rage. But now, when I thought I was going to die from their machines, just like they killed Tory Smith, just like they've killed so many other fucking people. These weapons are wrong. And fucking Nazis use them. Fucking Thomas is a goddamn Nazi. Of course he's going to say that he doesn't. I don't see Nazis. Really? Well, fucking look in the mirror and then at all your friends and all your cohorts. You know? Because the low-level bullshit you think is going to stop there, but it's not. It's coming for Craig Sawyer. And it's coming for that fucking open secret dude, Gabe Hoffman. It's coming for all of you. Because you all thought you could just dance around and get away with it, just like fucking Geo did today. That's what you've all been like through all of this shit. It was the way you started with me. The problem is that only the dumbasses are doing it now. Even Tara Joyce has backed off because she knows what I was taught to do. Who could have even fathomed it? The very one that you raised to be the vessel for the Antichrist would be saved by the teachings of Jesus Christ and go help the Father instead. Who would have ever seen that? And your group, when I was a kid, pledged their souls to me. They pledged their souls to me, and the whole group, which I gave to the dark. And as an adult, I've had to have all of you guys fuck with me. Every one of you has had to wrap your fucking weird ass energy all around me. That's why you're obsessed with me. That's why you do all kinds of stupid shit to me. And then you just sit over there or wherever the fuck you are and just talk about it. I consume all of your thoughts. But you're not going to admit it. But there's a reason why. And it's because what I have been telling you is the truth. It is the truth. And you cannot beat what's inside of you. What already owns you. You know, what already owns you. Fill your hearts with love. And most of you in this group are totally incapable. You don't have enough time to even find a conception of what I'm talking about. Don't have a fucking clue. And you ain't gonna like it. You are so not gonna like it. There are so many, that's this whole game. And it doesn't make any difference what everyone else thinks about you. The other side knows exactly who you are. And the other side, there is no death on the other side. And what your side has is a whole lot of fucking victims. I mean, a whole lot of victims. That it was not that hard to go and enlist their help. Because all I want to do is fuck you guys over. I want to do the same thing to your group that you all did to those little kids. I want to do the very same fucking thing. I want you to feel that things are closing in around you and that no one can save you and you can't save yourself, and feel that hopelessness and that terror and that fear. I want you to feel it all. And then I want you to feel it that way for a very long time. The issue is that you're talking to someone who's been there. Watch those kids. You have no idea what awaits you. You have no fucking clue what awaits you. And now you're gonna watch your chosen one and what fucking happens to him. I told you out that solar eclipse when you were gonna fucking do that stupid ritual, what would happen afterwards. Well, I told you, watch what happens afterwards, especially around me. You know? The whole thing about it is that I told you all of this was gonna happen with Trump years ago. Doug Mesner, aka Doug Masico, aka Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, and Emily Thorne, and all of their weird ass group, they can tell you, because they berated me for it for a long time, you know? But when heaven tells me something's gonna happen, it's not like it's gonna happen. Sometimes it takes forever. Sometimes it never happens right away. It's rarely instantaneous. But in my experience, the longer it takes, the way more spectacular results. Because today what I saw is you guys are all freaking. That you are freaking because the darkness has, and now your savior has been touched. And now you all are starting to realize if he can be touched, so can all of you, you know? And for those of you who aren't involved with all of this shit, for those of you who are, hey everyone, sorry, and I've only had a half a glass of wine, but today has been an intense day. They're blasting me with their weapons. But today, seeing what happened, and Thomas's long ass, disgusting ass letter. Oh my God. We are so not friends. Dude, I know who you are. I told you. Akina wouldn't play, but you would. And I'm not backing down. There's no way. You know, I don't care. I've told you, you are so bipolar. You are so bipolar. 1 minute you're fucking trashing me and just saying all kinds of weird ass shit like, I'm gonna marry Tara Joyce. Dumbass shit like that. I don't even get it. But you go from that to just, fuck, after I ate I had to go take a shit because I felt like you were crawling up my ass. And it was so gross that, like I said, it almost made me nauseous. You know? You think you're all that. And just like Glenna, just like Jules, the people that you have sent to me, if each one of you goes back and watches my videos, because each one of you were at a different point. First it was Glenna, then it was Thomas, then it was Jules. Go back and watch the videos and listen to what I'm saying about people who are in my life and the things that I would say. Because when I was with Glenna, the person I was talking about was you, Glenna. And then when I was talking about shit like that with Thomas, you were the one I was talking about. And Jules, same thing. when I was talking about it and laughing about the games that were being played, each one of you is, I just didn't want to tell you that because it's invaluable to have you guys around me because I learned so much about you. I can kind of figure out where your directions go, you know. But right now I know that you guys are all fucking panicking because the very one you thought couldn't be touched has just been touched. And it's not over. And that's why I wanted to come on this tonight and say, so it's there. The very day that all this came down. And you know, this is not the first time that he's been taken down by his dick. I would have wanted to jump off the moon had I lost, what, $85 million? Oh my God. You know? Oh my God, because I couldn't keep my mouth shut? Oh man. Fucking saying it, they can't do anything when you're just saying it, you know, but fuck, you go and announce it to millions and millions of people. But divine justice is real. You know, divine justice is real. You know, Dowd, or whoever you are, it could have been Mesner. I'm not going to deal with this whole thing that happened when I was 13. It is so old news. I did want to say, I started talking about it in a live video, and then I realized after the live video that I never finished what I was saying about a person that I helped, because shamanically, I ended up going and finding that dude that I had to light on fire and reuniting him with his daughter on the other side. It was an amazing situation. So I have helped a lot of children. It's just they're on the other side. They're on the other side. They're the whole reason why I have stayed in this, you know, have stayed in this. And you just show your hand because that's all you guys have, you know. They're always anonymous. Fuck, who knows? The thing about it is that they fancy themselves Legion. We can be anybody and everybody on the internet. We're Legion. What a sad, if that's your power. Oh my God. How worthless is that? You're the X-Men that never was, I guess. You know? Yes, I have helped people move. They call it psychopumping. I've helped a lot of people help on the other side. Especially the people that your side is fucking murdered. Because people who get murdered have a hard time finding it on the other side because they get enveloped with trauma. So you are not an X-Man. An anti-X-Man. Anyway, you're just like a little kid. Probably found this channel. Or Doug Mesner is sent in. Because Doug Mesner still sends his minions. It's just that Doug is afraid of me. Once you've dealt with me long enough, and I've sent you the fucking darkness, you don't want to play with me anymore. That's how it works. It's how it's always worked, you know? And they can criticize me and say whatever they want when I talk about the training that Michael Aquino and his group, because like I said, Michael Aquino was young at that time. He was young, and he had other people who were on top of him, but I had him when he was trying to prove himself. It was fucking horrid. And Doug Mesner's a goddamn dumbass. And I've seen him in videos. He looks bad. And if I was him, I'd be very, very afraid. Because you dumbasses don't have a fucking clue what's right in front of you. Because if you did, you would take a fucking knee. Let me tell you. But your ignorance is just this whole group, you know, this whole group. And I know that there are probably people who listen to me that I have just pissed off talking about Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is not your fucking savior. He's not here to save you. And the blasphemy bullshit that he does, he is the false prophet. He is leading you into fucking bad shit. When you say, I like him because he says the things that I want to say and does the things that I want to do, that's not a good thing and says way more about you than it does him. That's why he has a cult. What other politician in history, in any other country, has had the effect that he has had on people at this moment in time? What, you think this moment in time is just going to fucking last forever and then another one is going to come along? You know? I actually do like, I don't like enemies, because enemies means that you're going to end up trying to take each other out. But I like having intelligent people around me who have different opinions. That's why when I was like 27, 28 years old, my friend Barb Cox told me, dude, you could be a cult leader. And the first words out of my mouth, she said, I said, oh my God, kill me now. And she was just like, you wouldn't want to be a cult leader? And I said, to have a bunch of people who followed my every word and I had to tell them what to do? Oh my God, I couldn't, that would be my version of hell. I actually like my friends, pretty much as a whole, have been completely opposite to me and incredibly intelligent. That's what I want. I want someone who can bring me a completely different perspective, but with logic and intelligence, and not have the bullshit cult. I'm not listening to people's propaganda because they delude themselves with it and it goes nowhere, and I just don't buy into it. But if you're bright, that's what I loved about Owen, because Owen was, see, the whole thing about it is, the problem is that some of the stuff that Trump, some of the stuff that he wanted to do, like figuring out the border, because having a bunch of people in here that you don't know who they are is probably not a safe thing, obviously. Even though most of the crime is caused by Americans, who all seem to be losing their minds right now. Killing their kids, killing their wives, killing their husbands. I've never seen anything quite like it, but we're at the end. And the gamma radiation is making people authentic. You are not watching people go crazy. What you are watching are people who their real mask is, their real face is coming out because they can't hide it anymore. That was the thing about Trump being part of God's plan. Totally. Trump is totally part of God's plan because we're in judgment. We're in judgment. And if you're not filling your hearts with love and compassion and all of the stuff that they seem to call woke. Now, I'm not talking about the whole transgender and all of the weird shit that was going on, but actually giving a shit about people, giving kids food, helping kids, you know, helping each other, just the people around, being kind to each other, you know? Since Trump, it's suddenly, and I live in Iowa and Nebraska, and it suddenly has become fashionable for some people to be fucking mean to other people, you know? And it's wrong. And so I just, people will fill their hearts with love, or you'll be claimed by the dark. That's how it works. You'll be claimed by the dark because the gamma radiation and the heat from the X flare, we just had the fucking biggest X flare we've ever had yesterday. It was on, I read about it this morning. You know, biggest X flare we've ever had. Amazing that it didn't have that Carrington effect. And so it's frying the planet. And that shit from Beetlejuice that NASA showed the picture and it's headed right for us, you know? Okay, don't fill your heart with love. Be as dickheaded as you want. Go just live however way you want. See what happens to you. Babe, I personally have always had the philosophy, what is one life to give to God? You know, in the scope of things, what is one life to give to God? And that's how I felt. It's the reason why I've been celibate. That's the whole reason why I got out of the whole gay thing. And I didn't get out of the gay thing because I'm self-hating or I think that God hates gays. You know, I'm just, after my divorce, I'm never going to have another relationship. And because I'm never going to have another relationship, I think that one night stands, which is all they would end up being, would be wrong. And so I just wrote it all off. You know, I'm much happier by myself, you know, and not having to. Sex changes everything, and I hate it. I hate it. And I'm glad I'm away from it. And I've been watching on TikTok. Somehow my algorithm is starting to come. I just watched some dude who is like-minded with me. He doesn't want to have to be stuck in the stereotype of a gay dude because the gay lifestyle sucks. I'm sorry, but it's not homophobia. The gay lifestyle is unhealthy, sick, destroys the soul. It's all based on youth and drugs and sex and money, all of the stuff you shouldn't focus on. And in Omaha, during Franklin, all of the child trafficking shit was hidden in the gay lifestyle. Because all straight people knew about the gay lifestyle is that they had the best drugs and it was great to party there on the weekends and go dancing and all of that. That's all they fucking knew. And I've said this before, but I used to tell people who bitched that gay men were... I'm not making excuses or putting ridiculous shit on anyone else. I have not molested my nephews. There is no nephews at all. And since you're going to bring it up, I bet you are part of Doug. Matthew actually, or not Matthew, but Mark apologized for me saying that. Because when my sister died, I knew that my niece and my brother-in-law murdered my sister. I knew it. And all the kids knew it because I was open about it. And so, dude, I'm not saying anything to you. The whole thing about it is I'm not bowing down to people who weren't there, weren't affected, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing it. And in my family, I know that people want it to go away. But you, that's all you have. When I was 13. But you never mentioned that I had to light a dude on fire when I was 10. And I had to go through all kinds of bullshit before that. And so I was accountable. But I'm sorry. It's 40-something years, and I'm not going to be accountable to fucking strangers who have bad intentions. That's all you have. You want to focus on that, so no one focuses on what I actually have to say, which is the fact that your fucking Nazi pedophile murdering asses are fucked. Talk about no accountability. But let me tell you, dude, those days are over. So you want to talk about accountability, dude? You better look in the fucking mirror. Because you're either a murdering fucking child killer who's all involved in this, or you're here to protect them. And that's almost as bad as them being themselves. Shit, I don't give a fuck. They're not in here to actually, they're in here to distract. Because they know that what I'm saying is the truth. And it's true. I'm not going to watch the conversation anymore because I was having a good time just rambling on. And every once in a while I can recognize names. And I read your guys' stuff. So just stop engaging him. Just let him go. Because it's the same old bullshit. If you go look at every fucking one of these, for years, this is all they have. And they beat it like a goddamn dead horse because it's all they fucking have. And, so The whole thing about it is that there is a justice that's coming. There is a justice that's coming, and it's waking people up. Because the people who don't want to wake up about Trump are going to watch what happens to him and his family. And it's going to be the whole family. It will be. The darkness is going to consume publicly the whole family. I don't know how, but I know it's going to happen. Because it's written 3 to 4 generations. When you damn yourself, you damn your kids and their kids and their kids. If you read scripture, you damn your kids, you know? And that's the reason why filling your hearts with love and saving yourselves is one of the most selfish things you can possibly do, because it will help you save your family, you know? Because this is just, it is scripture, you know? People think that God has lost, heaven doesn't have wrath anymore. And they're about ready to be proven very, very incorrect. But that's how it's written too, you know? People will be caught completely unawares because everyone is so enveloped in all of this bullshit that they have us focused on. Moderators are needed. Moderators are needed. This is just a little kid. If you actually just ignore him, they go away because it's all about attention. It's all about attention. And it's always the same. It's always the same. And it's always these kids who have absolutely, like I was saying with Mark. Mark apologized for saying that because I was going after his dad and his niece, his sister, but my niece, because I knew that they had killed Cindy. Cindy was saying they were getting ready to murder her. They were the only ones left alone with her. And they have pictures of her face when she was dead. And she was fighting when she was dead. And they couldn't get their story straight. But he was a city manager. So nothing was going to happen to him. And they all knew it. He thought he couldn't be touched. And so I went to the other side and talked to my sister Cindy and told her, don't let him sleep. And if he sleeps, never let him rest. And 3 years later, that fat fuck was dead. And his daughter called me because they all chose their dad and fucked my sister. They had their reasons. Cindy was a complex and not an easy person to deal with. None of us were. But I told Melissa what I had done, that I had gone to their mom and what I said, and she got really quiet over the phone. And then she told me, oh my God, that's exactly how he died. And yeah, I know. You know, I know. Because on the other side, the issue is that not only does the darkness kind of do what I ask, but so does heaven. Right now, it's not like I'm in control, but for whatever reason, heaven helps. And I want the darkness to come to every one of you assholes. I want you to suffer, you know? Anticipation makes the blood sweeter, remember? So the longer it takes and the worse it is, the better it is for everyone around. And you're all going to experience what your group was just so eager to put on kids. You're going to feel what those kids felt. You're going to go through what those kids went through. You thought you were untouchable. You thought it'd never happen to you. No one could ever make it happen to all of you. You just thought that. You were wrong. You were wrong. And I was taught by your best. I was trained by your best. And your best pledged your group's souls to me. And when I gave your souls to the darkness, because I didn't want to die and still have those bonds. I didn't want to die with those bonds. So I gave it to the darkness. And the minute I gave it, I call him he who dwells within the dark. And the minute he took those souls, the dark stopped being a place that it had been for over 2 decades, where I just cast the worst shit and became a thing. And in the journey, even though I knew it was not after me, found it terrifying. I was, it was scary. It was scary. And your dumbasses let it right on in with your certain You guys are so fucking stupid. By your own hand, you get brought down. Just like it was written in scripture. Heaven, it's been fun to be involved with this. It really has. And it has been a lifetime endeavor because it's just been my whole life. Because let me tell you, thinking that I was going to be the vessel for the Antichrist and not wanting to be the vessel for the Antichrist consumed a lot of my thought and energy, especially as a kid, consumed a lot of it. And, oh, he's just a kid. Just dumbass. It's more telling for me. I know it sucks for all of you who watch these and actually want to have good conversation, because I've watched some super great conversations in here. But for me, it's advantageous because they're just dumbasses and they dance around, because the whole Geo Farnsworth today proved me wrong. And I have to tell you all, I was wrong. And I apologize, because I remember making videos. There are no nephews. That never happened. And I'm not going to fight it all the time. I have to figure out a moderator. Like, oh God. It's Doug Mesner's arguments, founder of the Satanic Temple. And they're all involved with this whole thing, because before it was the Dead Isaac Cappy Club, it was Lucian Greaves and the founder of the Satanic Temple. It was, for them, it was a decade of them, over a decade of them. The Dead Isaac Cappy Club has only been 7 months, but I'm almost kind of jealous, because Isaac was dealing with like the top of the line. I fucking had the low line garbage feeders, Doug Mesner and Emily Thorne and all of those idiots. Just, the dude who pulls his fucking dick and balls out for the national media to take pictures of, and then he's in doing this satanic after school daycare bullshit. It's just whatever, and the people that Isaac Cappy was involved with, Thomas especially. Thomas, he doesn't like the fact that I know Thomas, I know that you are Michael Aquino's replacement. I mean, I know that Michael Aquino despaired and ended up killing himself. And then he resurrected himself. And then he lived for 3 years, and he probably taught you everything he knew in those 3 years until he decided to kill himself again. I've never heard of it. I guess it's only a Satanist that can kill themselves twice. The story is just so stupid. It's just so bizarre. And so, oh, you're not distracting me, because I'm not. Like I said, I can see when I have my glasses down, I can see enough to where I can't read out words, but I recognize names. And so there are times when I just look at the camera and read what you're saying, but all of their other stuff, I'm so used to this. This is just decades. For some of you, it's all brand new. For me, it's every time. For the last, before 2012, it was probably, 2010. 2006 it really started, but it built up and it started to get real harassment, because the internet wasn't even around in 2006, not like it is now. But oh yeah, this is the target end. This is nothing. This is some little teenage kid that Doug Mesner has convinced to go into there. it's, they're just, this is how it works, is that they focus and distract. It's all about trying to quiet people down and discombobulate and get the conversation off of what they want it to be on. And this is an amateur. This dude in here is a kid. You know, I've dealt with people. Fuck. That's what Thomas's letter was today. Oh my God, Thomas, you almost made me throw up. You know, you almost made me. I don't know who you are. I know you're trying to bullshit everybody on that list. And you're trying to bullshit me, but it doesn't work. I was trained to see the dark in people. That's what my training was. When they call us super soldiers, that was my super soldier trick. Getting people to tell me their secrets. And I'm very good at it. It almost works. That's the reason why it took me 7 months to break basically enough of all this of Isaac Happy open. It was just what I was trained to do. Because you guys end up coming to me. Always. I didn't even know any of you existed till 7 months ago. And then when I started talking about Isaac Happy, oh my God, you guys descended on me like a swarm. But each one of you has fallen off because it's not fun to play with me. Oh, I have not yet. I have not yet. Justin Carter. I have been so busy with just living life. I made fudge for people in town. I have friends. I have a whole bunch of friends at several of the stores. And I was hungry for fudge. But I don't need a whole block of fudge. And you can make a recipe of it. And so I've been taking it to people all over town and giving it to, because that way a bunch of people eat it and then you get the oohs and ahs. Fudge is just, it was a good day. It was a good day. Then I had to go to Omaha. And I know they were in my house. I don't know what the fuck they ever do in my house. But this time, it was so obvious. They wanted me to know. Because I've never seen the Ring camera. I check that Ring camera every damn day. It's never done what it did today. Never done. Picked up movement, and it says person, but there's no video. The video, that they wanted me to know. They want me to know. Because they're getting ready to do something. Who the fuck knows what it is, but they're getting ready to do something. And so all of this bullshit that's happening in here with this dumbass, it's just a distraction. They want me not to think about it, but I've already thought about it. I've already thought about it. Who could not have thought about it? With Geo Farnsworth doing what the fuck he was doing, and Tara Joy suddenly starts taking everything down that she talks about, and then that whole day disappears. That's happened twice. Yesterday and today. So obviously she's figured out that shit is being looked at. They're all starting to clue in that I tell the truth. Why would I lie? It's so much more fun to tell the truth. It is so much more fun to dance around and actually, okay, government corp watch, just start focusing and leave that kid alone. He'll go away. Just leave him alone. You guys are adults. You're grown-ups. When I tell you to have love in your heart, it does not mean to play dark shit on here. Just let them go. They're going to do whatever they want. And they're going to twirl themselves and dance around like monkeys in heat all the way into the dark. And then when that happens, they are not going to be happy. So you should feel sorry for them. You should feel sorry for them. All I'm doing right now is trying to help people to prevent that from happening to as many people as I possibly can. And I do not see how dealing with something that happened 40-something years ago, when I'm 57 years old, and it happened when I was 13. I don't see how that's going to help anything right now. And it's just meant as a distraction. And, oh my God. The thing about it is that all they have are threats and games, and they're afraid. And the sad part about it is for the low level ones, like the ones that are in here and all of that, they don't have a clue. But today, the toppity, tippity, tippity, toppity top, watch the very one they thought couldn't be touched, was so untouchable, got touched. And it ain't gonna stop there. It ain't gonna stop there. And this whole evil shit, go ahead, do all the evil shit that you want, you know? Dude, to put all of you in the darkness, I had to agree to go into the darkness my fucking self. So when it comes to accountability, I'll be in the darkness right along with you. It's just that I get to be where all of you are on the other side. So instead of being the one that gets tormented, I get to be the one who gets to fucking torment. I get to go in the goddamn darkness. That was my fucking sacrifice. That was my accountability. Because you want to know what? When it comes down to having to deal with the fucking guilt that I have about a bunch of fucking children that were filleted and butchered, and I had to listen to fucking scream, my nephew is the last motherfucking thing I'm gonna fucking focus on. My sister should never have left a kid like me who was abused at 13 with a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old for all afternoon. It should have never fucking happened. And I was a fucking child. So shut the fuck up. Oh God. You're threatening about recording it? What the fuck do you think I'm doing right now, dumbass? I think I'm making a video, am I not? Am I not recording this? And you're threatening everybody in there that you're recording this. So what? You know, so what? What, you're gonna take it to all of your dark ass friends? The thing about it is what I know about a bunch of these people is that they have Jesus watching out over them because they give a shit. They are the faithful. And you won't be able to touch them. Go ahead, see what happens to you. Go ahead, see what happens to you. Right now, go ahead, see what happens to you. Go try and touch them. Because you won't even get close. And you won't like the results. You won't like the results. Like, you'll be on your way to do something and you'll end up in a fiery car crash and live through it for 20 minutes. You know, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I wouldn't be fooling around with the faithful right now. Because the darkness, as crazy as it sounds, heaven is using the darkness to protect the faithful. Because the darkness is God's as well. The darkness is not the devil's. Heaven and our Father controls the darkness as well. The Most High controls the dark and is using the dark against you because your group all wanted to, you just love being in the dark, you know? My sister was the adult. She was the one who had 2 kids and was married with a husband. So when it comes down to a situation like that, yeah, my sister has some accountability, you know? The whole thing about it is that I don't see you guys chasing around any other 13-year-old and beating them with a goddamn stick. I'm the only one. Because it's the only thing you guys have. And the only reason you have it is because I came out and said it. I admitted it. And so you can play all the games you want. You can play all the games you want. That's all you have. That's all you have. Because what you have is a focus on me, but you don't have any self-introspection at all. You can't reflect on yourself at all. And let me tell you, when it comes to the dark, it won't make any fucking difference if I was out there fucking slaughtering millions of people. Your shit is gonna get you put in the dark. And it doesn't make any difference what I'm doing, or Johnny across the street, or Susie down a couple doors down, or Abe, clear across town. It doesn't make any difference what everyone else is doing. We will all be judged accordingly, personally, of our own, you know? And at this moment in time, I would focus on that more than I'd focus on me. I tell you what, I'll save my own soul, because you're not here to save anybody. You're not here to help my nephew, because my nephew wants all of this to be stopped talking about. He wants it stopped because he's already had to explain it to his kids, and now he's afraid he's going to end up having to explain it to his grandkids. Because a bunch of goddamn Nazi fucking devil lovers want to just keep it going and going and going because they don't have anything fucking else. Even though you all are fucking hanging out with pedophiles and murdering kids and having sex with whoever the fuck you want, no matter what age they are, you know, you're just doing whatever the fuck you think you want and projecting it all off onto everyone else. And you love to project it onto me. And go for it. Go for it. Go for it. I totally encourage it. Totally encourage it. Because I know where it's going to get you. And in the end, I'll laugh. And tell you I told you so. Because I'm so not. I am not so. I don't know how to put it. I'm not beyond telling you I told you so. At all. Ever. But with that said, this has been a dark, dark live video. So I'm going to pray because I only have, like, pretty soon I'm going to have 10% on my phone. So I'm going to pray. Father, I come to you and thank you for today. Thank you for today. It has been amazing. It has been difficult because this group is desperate and they are reaching out to me in ways just like everyone saw tonight in the live, which is no different than what other nights have been. It's just that we had a reprieve for it for a couple nights, but I knew tonight was going to be bad. You are answering your prayers for me, and they are afraid. And that does my heart good. As terrible as that sounds, it does me well to know that they are no longer, they stand on sand and they're well aware of it. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. You are doing, give them the same experience that the children that their group so love to hunt and hurt. Let them feel the same, what those children felt. And all those who would be in there protecting them, like the dumbasses that have been in mine, let them feel the same, because they're even worse than the pedophiles. They would protect child killers. And I appreciate the fact that you realize that forgiveness and redemption is great, but at the last breath, I demand accountability and retribution. And I am grateful that you are giving me that. I am grateful that you are giving me that. And all of the victims that their group has brought down. They like to hide in the shadows, so let the dark claim them all. And I say these things, if not lovingly, gratefully. In your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. And that's it. So, that's it. I am stuck with this dude's stuff. So, in the end, yeah. I think my sister, as a fucking adult, had some accountability in the fucking situation. Especially when she goes on and says that she got me out of the fucking police by telling them how abused I was. Why would you leave someone like that with your kids? Because you were looking for a free babysitter and didn't give a shit. You know? And I was totally unstable. Totally unstable. And so, with that said, because I know she watches, enjoy the goddamn dark.